I just recorded this video, but the audio, it was so bad. This is my third recording because the first time I just didn't like what I said, so I was like, let me record it a second time. And then I didn't even check the audio either time, and it sucks. And it also sucks that I ran out of storage on my computer from recording that one of those previous videos. But anyway, none of that matters. What I'm here to talk about tonight is some discrimination that I came across on TikTok tonight, participating on some debates. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but oh man. Okay, I'll just cut it down. I'll cut down the podcast. In reality, I was just trying to get a clip for Instagram because the attention span, not that I get many views on any of these videos, but the attention span on TikTok is like, or on Instagram is like, what, like 3 seconds? And that's the other thing that I keep on burping. So the first recording, I decided to just try not to burp, and it was worse than actually burping. So second attempt was me burping. But anyway, the entire reason why I recorded this is because I'm just trying to grab a clip from my YouTube video podcast and put it on my Instagram. So ultimately, not much of this matters, but because not many people are gonna view, but it is what it is. I just wanted to recount my experience of going on TikTok and basically being insulted and degraded by people that had no place doing such things. And in the last recording, I went into maybe like 10-15 minutes of how my understanding of how chemistry turns into biology, like listing how the atoms turn into molecules and then the specific interactions and like how much time it should take for all those chemicals to get together and for all those like atoms to get into the conformational changes in order for DNA to exist and for different multicellular life to exist. And I'm just like, okay, why am I getting insulted by the people on TikTok debates telling me that I make no sense and that I sound crazy, when I can trace cellular life and specific like emotions and behavior and stuff down to those levels? So I'm just like, okay, whatever. Maybe I shouldn't listen to them. But I was still insulted. And those people still exist regardless of whether I'm on TikTok or not. They just have the audacity to say those stuff on the internet. So when I'm out in real life, I still do encounter these people that insult me on a daily basis, and they insult my sanity and my intelligence and my, wherewithal of myself. I don't like that, but I guess I just have to contend that with the fact that that is the state of the world and that's how people are. I don't want to live with that, but here we are. And it's been my position. I'm gonna have to change the conversation because I went off on 30 minutes. I went off for 30 minutes on that. But whatever. And I'm in the position right now where I'm just like, okay, I can totally make new technology and new math and science and everything for all of humanity and for the betterment of humanity. But seeing as to how that's my experience whenever I interact with the world, I don't want to. And I've never wanted to my whole life because of the level of dishonesty that everybody has in dealing with all of these matters. So why would I believe that if I give them truth, they're going to be more honest? That's only going to be true if they can apply the truth, and that the truth that I can offer them is so wildly beyond everything that they've ever understood for their whole life. And I'm talking about that stupid four system in which I believe, from what my understanding of social connections are, and my studying of this for the last year, not even year, like, what, like 6 months maybe, has been she or she, her, she, something like that. And as evidence, I tattooed she on my freaking index finger, or not index finger, ring finger. And then God, and then he. And like, this is the he that we detest, the one that falls back from her or she, from safety. Like, these two are safety as far as I can see for society. But then these two are somehow either a cop out or malicious. And it lines up with literarily, what I see in the world. And that is that, well, if you're to keep something safe, you are to keep it secret. But that's where I disagree. I mean, maybe in history, maybe that might have been true. Maybe that might have been the only form of protection or whatever. But I don't want to live in that society that needs to be protected from each other. I want to live in a society where God doesn't have to restrict humanity into these four things. And wherever you land in these four things for the sake of honesty, that just doesn't exist. And in 1,000 years, I don't think that it will exist. I think that the concepts of what humanity have been for thousands of years is drastically going to change to completely not include all the notions of truth based in honesty, based in emotional recollection at this point, if you want to call it that, but also emotional conditioning. None of it is going to be based on any of that. So, I don't know. I live in the future. I like to think that I got stuck in the past, and now I just have to wait out for that tiny 0.0000001% growth of a society for me to even just feel, oh, okay. I don't know. So I was saying in another video, and I don't know if I was saying it just now because of how many times I've said it, that I feel like, okay, I'm just going to develop a math and a science on paper in a way that my information can't be stolen, how I feel that it has been to some degree. Not holistically, but just to some degree. How I feel like that should be implemented would be, well, at the end of my life, I'll have all this information that I created, and I'll be like, none of them, and including you, are worthy to use any of this, but please trust that I made at least the slightest bit of right judgment compared to the people that you see of my era, compared to the people that you see of your era, and the progress that you perceive in between. And please trust, please trust that I'm right to use this. And, maybe in 60 years, I'll come up with a way to foolproof that no matter what way that I made it, it could only be used in the ways that I saw fit. And that's really the only way that I can think of being completely safe. And would God ask for safety, or would God ask for results? I can throw that question back to society and say, would God ask for safety, or would God ask for results? Because this is safety. This is safety. These would be results, right? where you factor in none of them because none of them are true. God doesn't function on human scales, yet humans want to not only insist, but only allow their perception of truth to be, right? So I believe, hey, if humanity was really trying to rid itself of evil, I fit every single one of your categories. Why didn't you rid of me? Why didn't you kill me, essentially? Because, oh, people won't take that stance. They'd rather just put you in a prison for life, right? That's a human design. That's not God. Humans think that way. God does not think of eternal torment. Humans put themselves in eternal torment, right? And I don't want to preach to anybody. I don't want to sit here and be like try to start my own religion because I don't want to do that. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to stand here because I'm standing. I'm not sitting. I'm going to stand here and tell you what it is that I can say to try to persuade you. But at the end of the day, I know that 0 people watch my videos, maybe 1 or 2, in all honesty, because I'm the one who's watching most of my videos. I'm the one who's registering most of the views on my videos. Am I getting too ahead of myself? Yes. As the night progresses, because I've made decisions that I don't fully agree with. And they come and bite me in the ass. But hey, I guess that's the system that I believe God created. And I believe that's a fair system because, for example, when I'm arguing with these people on TikTok, not even just in TikTok, but in real life as well, like I have said previously, if I'm talking to you and then you all of a sudden start talking to someone else who is not me, I'm not the person who held those arguments. So you're talking to yourself. While you do that, I'm going to pray that God answer my prayers, that God talk to me in this moment, because I really need it for these specific concepts and ideas that you as the speaker decided to ignore. And so God is going to speak through you and answer my questions. Do you understand how that works? If I don't want to entertain you, I will use your thought space, your work, your energy for my God. Is that right? That's my question. Because I can't disprove, although I'll disagree with every human on this world, I can't disprove that that is necessarily not the case in every case. Because I'd be asking equations and shit to God, and God be providing. And all I have to do is consider you and your background and to see how they combine and to see how you would say something like that to me if I asked God and God had to tell me through you. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's why I would get that answer. Like, but it's crazy because then if I do the math in my head, I'm like, oh shit, you really did just give me a formula. You really did just give me like an A plus B equals C. And it's not that much more than that because you gave me the answer. I said something, you interpreted it X, Y, and Z ways, and now you gave me C because A plus B equals C. I don't know how that makes sense. But if I'm having a conversation with you and my whole heart is in it and my whole brain is in it and I'm trying my best to connect with you and understand you and you go off on some other direction about some shit that I don't give a fuck about, bingo, right? You want to say I'm stuck in here because of that. But really you're stuck in there because of that. Because the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Right? Concentration. Concentration is the game. Keep the rhythm. Keep the rhythm. And I don't know the rest of something. There was a rhyme there somewhere. Anyway, It is almost midnight. I need to clip this. I need to edit this, and I'm just gonna upload a short podcast for today. Given that I've been recording for like an hour, talking for like an hour straight. So I'm good. It's been more than an hour that I've been talking. Good night. Thanks for watching. Or, sorry, have a good day if it's not nighttime.